In this video, what we're going to be doing is talking about the ternary operator. Now, the ternary operator is a conditional operator, and it gets its name from the fact that it uses 3 operands. Now, Nelson, for those out there that are not familiar with operands, why don't you give them an example of a unary and a binary operator?
Yeah, so the unary operators, such as not or negate, represented with the exclamation point or the minus symbol, those take in single operands, meaning they take in one single value that they're going to operate on. A binary operator will take in 2 operands, such as addition or subtraction. You have one on the left, one on the right. The ternary operator gets its name because it has 3 operands, and we'll talk about what those are in a moment here when I bring up some code. Okay. So we could use this operator to pretty much reduce the amount of code we need in order to express conditionals.
Exactly. Why don't you go ahead and start up a new project real quick and write out a very simple if statement for everyone. Something with a, we're going to do this or we're going to do that. So let's make sure we get an else in there as well. And please, whatever you do, don't make the if statement just saying, if true.
I would never, ever do that.
Of course not, Nelson.
If true, stuff, else, things.
Yeah.
Was that what it was? Anyway, I thought we said I never did that. If input equals...
stuff. You know you want to.
No, I'll use hey. Score equals 20. Actually, sorry, I shouldn't be doing that. Else score equals 40.
Just in case you don't know, you can't use var without... Thank you.
I know, or I can just do this. There we go.
There you go. I was wondering.
Okay, and then I'm actually going to bring this up here and this down there. So, well, maybe add that. Okay, so basically, that's a lot of code. And
so it's a very simple application that you've written here that is going to simply read in whatever a user types in and hits enter. That then gets put into input, and then we drop down, we declare score, and then we're simply going to check to see if that input was equal to the string hey. If so, we're going to set score to 20. Otherwise, we're going to set score to 40. But as Nelson said, that is a lot of code, and there is a way that we can simplify this to a single line of code. Nelson?
Yep, so this is the ternary operator. Basically, I'm just going to do a score 2 so I don't conflict with anybody, and then do input equals hey, question mark, 20, colon, 40. So what's going on here is, like I said, the ternary operator accepts 3 operands, and these are the 3 operands separated by the punctuation. So in this case, we have the condition. This is going to be an operand that will evaluate true or false. Essentially, anything that you could put in an if statement inside these parentheses in the if statement could go into this statement or this expression right here.
Exactly.
And it, like I said, must evaluate to Boolean. Then, after the question mark, we have the true condition. After the colon, we have the false condition. So to somebody who doesn't really, who hasn't used this before, this might look a little bit intimidating, but just refer back to this code up here. Basically, we're evaluating, this is an expression, and we're evaluating the value of this expression depending on what branch to take, depending on if this is true or false. So remember, true is always first, false is second, separated by a colon.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's very important to realize that the types of these 2 values must be in some way convertible to each other. Now, for example, what I mean by that is I could not do this, for example, because in order to assign something to this value, it has to be both a string and an int, which doesn't make any sense, and there's no implicit conversion between a string and an int. But what we can do, well, I mean, we could do, of course, 40.2 string if you wanted to. But what we could do is something like this. We could say 20.5. And just by adding that 0.5, we're actually changing the type of this entire expression, because now this entire expression evaluates into the most, I don't want to say most complex, but the most, the most complex type that it can get itself into, because the C# compiler sees, wait a sec, can we implicitly convert a double into an integer? And the answer is no. We cannot implicitly convert a double into an integer. Then it says, wait a sec, can we implicitly convert an integer into a double? And the answer to that is yes. So basically what this is doing is this is implicitly converting this into a double. And as a result, the entire expression is a double. And as a result of that, our variable is now a double.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so that's the most important things to realize about the ternary operator. If you're coming from other languages, and the ternary operator is very popular in different languages, and it holds the name because there is yet to be another operator that accepts 3 operands in existence that I know of. And if you come from a language like C++, you'll think that you can put statements in these operands. You cannot in C#. In C#, they must be expressions. And what I mean by a statement is something that doesn't return a value. And I can demonstrate that with this. I can say int x equals 1, or I'll just do int equals 0, y equals 0. And then input equals, hey, x equals 2, colon, y equals 100. And you'll see here
That's 10.
that 10, 100,
It's all the same.
500, 999.
What do you come back
Whichever.
to planet Earth, Nelson?
So only assignment, call, increment, decrement, and new object expressions can be used as a statement. So you see that we cannot do assignment statements, obviously, even though in certain cases in C# they actually do return a value, but that's irrelevant. You just have to remember that unlike a language like C++, this is not valid. In addition, let's say I have 2 void methods called void1 and void2. Again, because evaluating those functions do not result in an expression, I still cannot do that.
Because basically what you should be doing is assigning a value to input, correct?
Well, the thing is I'm not assigning a value to anything in this case. That's
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. The value of this is just going nowhere because neither of these things return a value.
Right.
In this case, so you cannot use anything that can't evaluate into a value inside the ternary operator. Ternary operator's operands. That's about it.
Okay. Okay, well, with that, then we'll go ahead and wrap up this video. Thanks a lot.